Welcome back to the Nightmare Society, where your deepest fears find their voice. I'm your host, and tonight we're diving into the fragile landscape of human memory. Before we begin, I want you to think about your earliest memory. Can you picture it clearly? Are you absolutely certain it happened the way you remember? Good. Hold on to that thought. You might need it. Sarah Martinez had always prided herself on her sharp memory. In college, she was the friend who remembered everyone's birthdays, the student who never needed notes for exams. So when she started her new job at Meridian Research Labs and began experiencing memory lapses, she attributed it to stress. It started small, forgetting where she'd put her coffee mug, walking into a room and losing track of why she'd gone there. Normal things that happen to everyone, she told herself. The human brain processes thousands of pieces of information daily. Some slip through the cracks, but then the gaps became more pronounced. Entire conversations vanished from her recollection. She'd find documents on her computer that she had no memory of creating, written in her own style, bearing her digital signature. Her boyfriend, Marcus, grew concerned when she forgot their anniversary dinner, something she'd been planning for weeks. "Maybe you should see a doctor," Marcus suggested one evening as Sarah stared blankly at the calendar on her phone, trying to piece together the missing pieces of her week. "It's just the new job," Sarah insisted, though doubt gnawed at her. "The work is intense." That was an understatement. Meridian Research Labs specialized in neurotechnology, cutting-edge research into brain-computer interfaces and memory enhancement. Sarah's role as a data analyst meant spending long hours in front of screens filled with neural mapping data and memory formation patterns. The irony wasn't lost on her that she was losing her memory while studying how memories work. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the lead researcher, had taken Sarah under her wing from day one. Elena was brilliant, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses and a maternal way of checking on her team. She noticed Sarah's struggles before Sarah was ready to admit them. "The work we do here can be overwhelming," Elena said during one of their weekly check-ins. "The human brain isn't designed to process the kind of data we deal with. Why don't you take a few days off? Rest your mind." But rest didn't help. If anything, the time away from work made the memory gaps more noticeable. Sarah would find herself in places with no recollection of how she'd gotten there. She'd discover food in her refrigerator she didn't remember buying, clothes in her closet she'd apparently worn but couldn't recall putting on. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning. Sarah woke up to find a journal on her nightstand, leather-bound, filled with her own handwriting. The entries spanned 3 months, detailing experiences she had no memory of. According to the journal, she'd been documenting strange dreams, odd sensations during work, and a growing suspicion that something was wrong at Meridian Labs. One entry, dated just 2 days earlier, made her blood run cold. "They're taking more than they should. Dr. V says it's necessary for the research, but I think I figured out what Project Mirror is really about. I'm going to confront her tomorrow. If anything happens to me, if I can't remember writing this, then I'll know for sure. Check the basement lab after hours. The real equipment is down there." Sarah had no memory of writing those words, but they were undeniably hers. Her hands shook as she read entry after entry describing a reality she couldn't remember living. According to the journal, she'd volunteered for experimental memory research. She'd agreed to let them study her brain while she worked, supposedly to understand how prolonged exposure to neural data affected memory formation. But the journal told a different story. It spoke of unauthorized procedures, of memories being selectively extracted and stored, of a project that wasn't trying to enhance memory, but to steal it. That night, Sarah returned to Meridian Labs using her access card. The building was eerily quiet, fluorescent lights humming in empty corridors. She made her way to the basement, following directions she'd apparently left for herself in the journal. The basement lab was hidden behind a door marked "Maintenance." Inside, Sarah found equipment she'd never seen before. Sophisticated neural mapping devices, rows of servers with blinking lights, and most disturbing of all, a wall of containment units, each labeled with a name and date. Her name was on dozens of them. "I wondered when you'd find this place again," Sarah spun around to find Dr. Vasquez standing in the doorway. No longer the kind mentor, but something colder, clinical. Elena? What is this place? You know what it is, Sarah. You figured it out before. 3 times, actually. You're quite persistent, even when we dial back your suspicion centers. The truth hit Sarah like a physical blow. You've been stealing my memories. Borrowing, Elena corrected. Your neural patterns are exceptional. Every memory you form creates unique pathways that we can map and replicate. Do you have any idea what human memory sells for on the black market? Perfect recollections of experiences, emotions, skills. We can extract them, copy them, and sell them to the highest bidder. But why me? Because you remember better than most people. Your memories are vivid, detailed, emotionally rich. They're worth a fortune. And the beautiful thing is, you'll never remember any of this. By tomorrow, this conversation will be gone, along with your discovery of this place and your suspicions about the project. Sarah's hand found her phone, muscle memory guiding her to the voice recorder app. She'd apparently done this before too. You can't keep doing this to people. People? Elena laughed. Sarah, you're the only test subject left. The others, well, let's just say that memory extraction isn't a perfect science yet. Some subjects experienced complete personality dissolution when we removed too much. But you're resilient. We can take 70% of your recent memories without permanent damage. You just reset every few weeks. The horror of it washed over Sarah. She wasn't living her life. She was trapped in a loop, having her experiences stolen from her over and over again. How many times had she made this discovery? How many times had she tried to escape? The journal, she whispered. I've been leaving myself clues. Yes, quite clever. We destroy them when we find them, but you're resourceful. It doesn't matter, though. In a few hours, you'll be back in the chair, and this will all be gone. You'll wake up tomorrow thinking, you just had a bad night's sleep. But Sarah was already moving. She'd planned for this. Her past self had planned for this. Hidden in her jacket was a small device she recognized from the lab equipment upstairs. A localized EMP generator designed to disrupt electronic devices. You know what the saddest part is? Elena continued, oblivious to Sarah's preparations. You're actually happy most of the time. Without the weight of accumulated trauma, without the stress of remembering all life's disappointments, you're like a perpetual optimist. We're doing you a favor. Sarah activated the device. The lights went out, servers crashed, and in the darkness, she heard Elena curse. But Sarah had one advantage. She'd navigated this building in the dark before, even if she couldn't remember. She ran, following emergency lighting toward the exit, Elena's shouts echoing behind her. But as she reached the stairwell, a terrible realization hit her. Even if she escaped, even if she called the police, would they believe her? And more importantly, how long before Elena and her team found her and dragged her back? The journal had anticipated this too. Hidden in the back pages was an address, a safe house, apparently set up by a previous version of herself. Along with it, contact information for a journalist who specialized in corporate corruption. 3 days later, Sarah sat in a coffee shop across from investigative reporter James Chen, trying to explain a situation that sounded insane even to her. But the evidence was overwhelming. The journal, the recordings, the medical files she'd managed to steal, showing her repeated memory extractions. The scary thing is, Sarah told him, I don't know how much of me is left. How much of who I am is real, and how much is just the shell Elena left behind. When they take memories, do they take pieces of your soul too? James published the story a week later. Meridian Labs was raided, Elena Vasquez was arrested, and Sarah became a key witness in a case that revolutionized laws around neural experimentation. But late at night, when Sarah tries to remember her childhood, she finds gaps, empty spaces where precious memories should be. She'll never know if her first kiss really happened the way she remembers, or if it's just an implanted experience, artificial and hollow. The real horror isn't that someone stole her memories. It's that she can never be certain which memories are truly hers. In a world where thoughts and experiences can be extracted like data files, how do any of us know if our memories are real? Sarah still keeps a journal, not because she's forgetting things anymore, but because she needs to document her recovery. to build new memories she can trust. But sometimes when she reads her own handwriting, she wonders if she's really the same person who wrote those words, or just an echo of someone Elena Vasquez left behind. And that's tonight's tale from the Nightmare Society. Sweet dreams, and may your memories remain your own.